All right, here we go. We're on the Rift. Big match. Can't wait to see it. We got Rolster versus T1. Rolster is, a lot of people aren't familiar. I mean, the old franchise was one of the dominant ones in Korean lore, but this team's been put together with a whole bunch of all-stars, right? Cuz, Keen, BDD, Aiming, Lehens have all been in the final stage. So this is a great team. This could be a banger of a series. T1 has been as dominant as can be. And T1 keeps on going for this Nami Lucian lane, so let's see how it goes again. Again, can lose at level 1, not usually against Aphelios, but from level 2, 3, and up, that's when they're going to try to take over this lane. KT is just going to try to scale up from the Aphelios and Veigar. They've got large amounts of scaling. Renekton gives a steady power curve through the early game to help them get into position, and Faker is on Cassante. So they have moved this. They moved Gnar into the matchup versus Renekton to get that counter pick and play through Zeus as a carry, as they do. Owner on Elise looking to own this jungle matchup, and Faker looking to just steadily push in Veigar and be another frontliner for this team to help set up for the Gnar, right? Gnar really likes not being the only frontliner, so this works out well. So let's see how we go about it. How much BDD looks to try to use the Q for harass versus anything else, right? Every Q hit, every spell hit that touches Cassante is going to be an extra AP. He's going to be stacking that up as we go. Of course, he's got first strike as they do in pro, and teleport, looking to get as much scaling as quickly as possible. We talked about it here that Veigar, and of course everyone's seen it, and it's already been nerfed because it was that good. But when you make a fundamental change to a champion, like increasing its range by 100 on its spells, it's gonna make a difference, and that is precisely what happened on Veigar. All right, so here we go. 3 path to bottom. Was warded. Does he know? Wukong's going for a level 2 clear. He's going to be seen. Elise will be seen, but he has to get away from the blue buff. So Owner already showing jungle dominance, and this is because of a antiquated route. This is not a route that you take very often, only if you think you can sneak it by them and surprise them. But red wolves just gets you into trouble many, many, many times. You're crossing the map, you're susceptible to ganks. This is exactly what's happening here. And Owner's taking over this part of the jungle. Now, Faker and Carry are coming over. They're very happy to leave Lucian alone with Aphelios. Not only does Lucian win this 1v1, but he also can dash over this wall if something does come up. So look at this full investment. Every single one of the trinkets that they had, besides BDD Veigar, have all been used. So Elise can actually run rampant on the map right now. Is going to chase this Wukong left, right, center, all over the place and take his cake and eat it too. So Owner showing absolute mastery over this. Now we have Renekton looking to dive in on the top lane, getting trades in when you can, right? Especially when Gnar, before he's about to go Mega. Once it's about to go Mega, you cannot win that fight as Renekton. You're also going to get poked out. But when he does go to Mini, there's a window for an all-in. So expect him to look for that. But otherwise, with the skirmish that's happening in the bot side jungle, Gnar knows that he's not going to be punished for harassing here. Look at this full investment on bot side. Man, they are getting... This Lucian Nami is going to be a problem. They're going to be ahead in items and levels at this point. Owner giving up a little bit of his early game tempo. Wukong being able to take advantage of the western side clear. Now, this is fine. Elise can give up that side as long as she turns it into a vertical jungle and keeps on playing for the side. So expect Elise to play for the southern and eastern quadrants, and that they're going to try to dominate this lane. Now, KT, what they could do and sometimes will do is swap out of this position, right, to not stagnate in this long lane. Oh, we got a flash engage from Aphelios? That was ambitious. All right, that is some frustration boiling through. Lucian Nami just eager to spend as well, so they're happy to just walk out of that situation. Aiming in Lehens, if you play with a little bit more patience, you do have a mana advantage. There was a chance that you could actually drown them out of their resources here. Now, Faker actually getting a little bit of a push in. Cassante at these levels, very strong pushing and first through to first item, especially if they go bombies first, but they tend not to. They tend to go the Iceborne Gauntlet, which is fine. Sometimes it leaves you a little bit thin, but look at this by Keria pulling the whole wave, a huge double stacked wave. This is fantastic support play. Keria showing one of the reasons why a lot of people consider him the best player in the world. Look at this. Oh my gosh, the all out on Veigar. Does that work through his wall? I wouldn't think so. I don't know, though. I don't know this interaction. Maybe it is something that they've got to read on. I'm going to look for Cassante to try to all out through the Veigar cage and see if that works. But keep an eye peeled for that. All right, so now here we go. Lucian was happy to cull off a set of those minions early on. Now, one thing that I'm not a huge fan of is that he's turned some of his lead into an extra longsword and control ward. I don't think they're going to need the control ward here. They can just freeze the lane and permanently keep it in this spot. There's no real need for it yet. Now, they may decide that, hey, we want to actually push up at some point, and that's when we do want the control ward, but he had other options to be a little bit more aggressive. Let's see if they decide to just push and hold this position. And now this would be the best case scenario for KT Rolster. If aiming and Lulu, if Aphelios and Lulu can just hang out under turret, last hit under turret, then they will be more than happy to do so. Elise, look at this. Again, playing for that Eastern Quadrant domination. Wukong is here hovering, trying to get back, but check out the level difference already. We got 3 and 4 versus 5 and 4 from the bot laners, which does mean that they have full opportunity, if they choose to push in this wave and go to this dragon, and there's zero chance of a contest. Aphelios not even in the lane right now. Does have the Moon Quiver for himself, so he'll be even happier to get those last hits under turret. But there's zero chance that they come over here with a level 3 now recently for Lulu. There's just nothing for them to do. Plus, Cassante is much stronger than Veigar at this stage. So, this will be Dragon to T1. Now, as the game goes on, right, Renekton playing for flanks, Veigar with Cage, Wukong for flanks. They do have a very solid, like, T-bone, dot the eye sort of strategy. Veigar's going to put that out, and then the flanker comes around, and you kind of force the enemy team to work around that fairly large AoE stun, right, for these fights, and that can be very punishing to a team like Lucian Nami or Elise or Gnar. These champions, some champions like to dive in. Now, as a whole, this composition is extremely low range, right? Nami not the highest range, Lucian famously low range. You've got double melee from the Mega Gnar and Cassante, and Elise, if she wants to get any kind of execute, she's going to be going spider form. So when it does get to these big fights, going into melee range against a Veigar and a Wukong can be a death sentence. So, T1 is going to have to press for advantages. They should be pressing for turret damage, definitely fighting for this Herald. They've already got one dragon, and expect them to try to go for soul at 22 minutes with this team comp. Now, they wouldn't be afraid to let champions like Cassante and Gnar scale up versus their relative opponents, but Veigar, relative to the game, is going to get exceptionally strong, and of course Aphelios Lulu is almost always going to outscale their opponents. So here we go, more pressure. 4 champions to the bot side. Love what they did, pushing up mid. It allows Cassante to roam into bot side. You can spend 15 seconds here. Now he's going to come back and pick up the minions. You only lose 1 minion, but you have a chance at a 4v2 dive. So it is shadowed by Wukong, so no action from T1 except for the plate. But now they're going to come back out. We're going to expect a completed item. If Lucian decides to go for Collector, or if he goes what they've been doing many times, which is Serrated Dirk into Gale Force. We'll see how he builds, and it does look like that's going to be the option. Serrated Dirk into a Gale Force for Lucy. Oh, Zeus is just so good. Probably the best spacing player I've ever seen, actually. Just, he moves on a dime. You move, he moves, and it's just that fast. It's like he clicks forward and has his mouse already ready behind him in the position that he wants to juke in. It's just insanely quick, borderline precognitive. Maybe it's Spider-Man playing top lane for T1. Wouldn't be surprised because they've got Superman in mid, so we could get all the action figures and heroes going on for this team. And Gumayusi, you know, the Wonder Kid, could call him Flash. You know, maybe we could get like this DC Marvel like combo team for T1. And that's really what they've been. They've been playing like superheroes, but you know, full front to back, leading the LCK at every stage. Look at this spacing by Zeus. It's just so good. Take note, if you are playing any position really, but especially these top lane fights where you end up getting isolated, watch Zeus. He is the single best player at watching that mechanic. See how he does it. Try to emulate it. You will climb immensely if you are capable of doing that. All right, so bot lane checking in. Wukong happy to not kill this ward. He does not want to reveal himself. He's here for a counter gank, and specifically, this is the position that Aphelios and Lulu want. They want to maintain this freeze under the turret. I don't like that Wukong felt the need to hit that. He could have stayed here. Elise was going to try to force this play. They may have even tried another push mid and 4-man dive. Wukong would have been in a good position to dive and give them an escape route by going forward. Lucian dashing in. He's got the Nami bubble damage and aiming. Gets wrecked. Now, this is 1:10 seconds until Dragon, so expect Aphelios to back. Now, watch with the slingshot effect, right? Aphelios has to back. Wukong, therefore, has to come and cover for a bit. Elise has her way in this jungle if she wants it. But by hovering here, they can all keep control. Oh my gosh, Elise stepping forward does not realize that the Lulu is in there too. And nothing really expended. I mean, we got a Lulu ult at the cost of some plates. Now aiming, still coming back to this lane. Wukong does have his ultimate, but they expect not to have to use it here. Lucian Nami, they want to get this turret down, but it's not that important. Don't give up your momentum. One of the things that you don't want to do is gain a temporary advantage of like a small gold gain by taking this turret, but give up all your momentum that your team has been setting up, because this dragon's in 17 seconds. You should already be there. They should not be waiting for this wave. They should go and just posture immediately for it. Casante's already going to have the push in mid. Elise is in a better position than Wukong. It looks like they're going to shove this wave in first and then go for it. Are they setting a trap? Oh my goodness. Aiming. Maybe they use it as a read. They say, you know what? The book says we should be on dragon. We can hide in this bush, and they will have no idea. So if that's the call, then absolutely heads up play. Watch this. Nami is not going to tank any of this. We're going to give solo gold to the Lucian. So expect Guma to be absolutely huge this game. Taking this wave as well. He is well far beyond 50 CS lead on Lucian versus Aphelios. With a 2-level lead, he's going to have a completed item plus a serrated Dirk before an even completed item on Aphelios. So things looking good for T1 here. $4.5K gold lead. We'll see. This is what we're talking about, the Renekton play pattern. We'd end up not getting a second jump from Gnar. How did that not proc? Okay, normally that has a very forgiving space for getting that second jump on. But that's what you can do against Gnar. Right when he turns mini, you can see he's got no rage right now. And you can potentially go in for a trade window with Renekton. You have to use a lot of your resources to do it. Here we go. T1 ends up clipping that for another plate. And now they've got a turret down, another one with 1200 health. Gnar was not able to turn his lead into anything more than just extra CS in the top lane. Of course, the change to plated steel caps has made it one of the most broken items in the game. And it is allowing Renekton to not give up as much as he otherwise would have. Beautifully done there with the angle. Perhaps Aphelios could have gotten away if he dashes the other way, but no matter what, he's going to be next to a fat rock when he comes out into that position, and Nami loves using tidal waves in those spots. So here we go. We're going to send T1 side to side. They're going to try to get these outers before committing to moving the rotations to mid lane. They want to get the carries, some extra gold, get the extra damage onto these turrets. Great timing on the Nami ult, but still the strength here of Wukong and Lulu holding people up. They're able to get the kill onto Elise. So what does this mean for the map, right? You're going to see Aphelios move to defend mid. Veigar is more than happy to farm off Q in the side lane. Renekton will dutifully go against Gnar. Now this matchup is going to start getting worse for the Renekton as Gnar gets able to deal more and more damage from his mini form. So expect him to start flexing on this matchup and also doing things like this, taking extra camps. I wonder, he does have fleet footwork. I wonder if he has Legend Bloodline in the rune tree. He probably does. But check this out. Gnar just going ham on this jungle, pushing in the wave and using full prio. So let's check out this play again. Owner maybe a little bit late, not realizing he sees the Lulu, does not see that Wukong is there. So we end up getting a knock up into a Veigar cage, but the cage actually doesn't land, but it didn't matter. And yet it was enough. So let's see. Do they move Lucian back into this lane? They do. All right. So Casante's in the side lane, right? You don't want to have Casante versus Aphelios. Not ever. That's a fantastic situation for Aphelios to be in, right? Very little threat of the Casante being able to get on him. But in this position now, this is what you want as KT Rolster. You've got Aphelios in the shortest lane in the game with a turret at his back, able to defend. So even though they gave up the bot lane, which was largely done because Elise was able to get behind that turret and use that long lane, can't do that in the mid lane. So T1 is going to have to find an interesting avenue if they want to try to go for this play. And it looks like they were looking for a fog play. Nami tidal wave or tsunami into Gnar. Ult would have been enough to kill aiming. Are they making a play here? No, this play can't be made. Owner doesn't really have that much to do. Ends up coming out. Okay, so we didn't see any attempt at an all-out, so I imagine that's probably a sign. Good peel. Good flash. Ends up getting it. Can we go out? Renekton going in. Is he going to try to all-out him back over this angle? What an incredible angle by Faker, bringing Keen to the turret. He's going to be able to hold on to this. Elise trying to go for the flash. We get the flash knock-up, flash stun into flash Q3 for Casante. Gets him under the turret. Beautifully done. Expertly played by Faker to take that angle and to run Renekton out of the fight, completely self-peeling. You stuck in here with me, or am I stuck in here with you, or are you stuck in here with me? And meanwhile, Guma, Lucian, getting on this turret with Nami damage. They're going to rip this whole thing apart. Casante even teleporting in bot. I don't expect him to actually go for much significant. Probably just a demolish proc here before he goes off. But Lucian does kill that turret. They kill this wave. The map belongs to T1. They have a 6,000 gold lead. Prio from every lane. Now the scaling, is it going to come through in time? This dragon, this will be their prize. Gnar took a back rather than coming straight over, which made sense because he had just pushed in top. Veigar's covering top lane, so there is no prio for KT to contest this dragon right now. They have no position, and Lucian is just incredibly strong, able to fight even the Wukong. And Gnar starts off the damage on the dragon. This will be their prize to collect. This will be done by about 1845 at the latest. So they're looking at a 2345, 24-minute dragon soul potentially. Look at this play. Look at that angle, and holy crud. What a spot from Faker. And meanwhile, just constantly stacking up his Qs. Look at that control ward placed by the turret. If you don't know what that ward is about, you place it. It's already kind of difficult to target champions. If people make a mistake and they don't use their toggle champion button, people do hit turrets by accident, and by placing a ward down at that turret, it can make you even harder to kill. If that ward takes even one attack, it might be the difference between life and death. That is how precise that window can be. So pulling out all the stops here, just incredibly played. And Casante, loading up 2 more control wards. He's got his Jack Show ready to kick some butt. And of course, his very best item, Gargoyle Stone Plate, allows you to be super aggressive with your all-ins. Ever since the change that you reduce more of your stats when you go into all-out, it has made Gargoyle Stone Plate even better because you're turning all those stats into AD. It's extra threat, and when you're all out, the one thing that could go wrong is getting bursted right at that moment, and Stoneplate just solves that problem. So you can all out, and even while you're mid-flight where you're not doing any other actions, you can activate that Stoneplate, get that extra barrier health if you even need it. Sometimes you don't. But we'll see how Faker attempts to play that. Now check out the Siege. We've got Lucian being exceptionally strong here, but playing cautiously. Looks like the team wanted to step back. I'm kind of surprised by this because Gnar is posturing at 80%, but the teleport is still a minute away. So they may be deciding that it's not worth risking a fight, but honestly, that would be if these team comps were equal. You are up 7,000 gold, friends. You have got a full completed and BF sword lead on the Aphelios, Lucian versus Aphelios. So they should be looking to take that fight. The Renekton, 1.5 items. Wukong, 1.5 items. Veigar, the only one who's sizable with 2 completed items and a stopwatch, which was to be expected versus Cassante. He was going to get all of his farm, all of his stacks. But still, that team is not strong enough to fight you. Even if they get their dream scenario, you want that 4v4. So I'd like to see T1 playing a little bit more aggressively here. We'll see how they come with it. Lucian is their strongest player. Are they actually going to use Lucian to set up the mid lane push? Normally you put your fighter here and have them come over because of how bulky they are. But they may decide that Lucian is just that big that they can afford to do it. But normally this is a little bit suboptimal. You want the Cassante or the Gnar to be pulling that mid lane wave as you push to the side and then collapse. But that's 2 inners gone, 3 outers gone. They've got an astronomical gold lead. They have a map lead. They're going to play for the fight. Make no mistake about it. They are here on the Baron, but they want to take the damage. Notice that Gumayusi is not even in the pit. They don't need him. He can dash in as it's needed. No, dash was on cooldown, so he has to flash into the pit. A little bit disorganized. It does not look like they prepared that play all the way. What they wanted for sure was to take that fight, to pull off of Baron, make enemy team come to you while you have a 7,000 gold lead, and just crush them with their wallets. But nonetheless, T1 will be able to get back to base and actually spend off a lot of their advantages. You're going to see Infinity Edge come out from Lucian. If not, he might make a detour for a Bloodthirster, being as strong as he is and making sure that he doesn't want to get popped in any kind of fight. But, you know, a good defense is good offense. Gray screen is the best kind of CC in the game as well. So we'll see what Guma picks up here. There's a world where you go Stormrazor, but probably not this one. We need to be a hyper carry. He does go the Infinity Edge. And take note of this, marksman, especially Lucian players. You do not need all the extra attack speed. Rapid fire cannon is more than enough. You don't need the boots. The boots can just sit there. Magical footwear. It is what it is. You're moving around. You want the stats. You want all of your extra hits to compound. You want that extra damage to work. Same thing with Caitlyn headshots and champions like this. You want those amplifiers to tick up. Nami taking a very dangerous path over there. That could have been bad. Don't like seeing that at all. The only thing holding KT back was that they didn't have enough information about the rest of the team. But, like, I don't know. That's a fish out of water right there. Just in the reeds would have been an easy harpoon target. So if you're KT, how do you try to get back from this game? Well, you're trying to scale. You're not trying to take any fight. You try to posture and chip away and see if they make a mistake in some positions when you can. But at this point, if Baron does get secured, this is the one thing that they're absolutely going to fight for. Soul, they should not even fight. They should give Soul, give it another 5 minutes, and try to, I guess it would be 6 minutes for the Elder. At 30 minutes, they'll be feeling fine to take a fight. At 3 items, if they can get to 3 items, by the time the Elder rolls around, then they can feel confident enough in taking a fight. But that's going to be the break point. This comp that T1 has for themselves is going to be stronger at 1 and 2 items. At 3 is where KT is going to take over. Zeus making an extremely aggressive play. Ends up taking some damage from the turrets, but it's not going to be enough to deter him. But he steps off to the side. He's going to heal that back up. Of course, we've got this combination of Black Cleaver and Triforce for Gnar. Makes him exceptionally strong, even into the plated steel caps. And Gnar's going to just be bullying this Renekton all over the place. Now, here we go. They've got all the vision they want. Cassante's got top lane prio. Gnar has bot lane, but he has just used the Mega Gnar. Will they go for the Baron? Will they try to teleport in? They're going to leave that ward alone, of course. Do not hit those wards, right? They're already turned off. They've seen what they've seen. That's it. They're not going to be able to come in. Now, you may get to this protracted fight, and if that happens, then it's okay to take them down in case you get bullied out of this position, but they really shouldn't be. In fact, K'Sante should be looking for an all-out right here. He may not use it just yet. He's just bodying the Lulu. Without the Lulu, they don't have the combination, but they get the steal. They combine the Aphelios ultimate, but what is the penalty? Faker's going to go all out. Zeus and Elise. Zeus flashes in. Elise is going to flash as well. She should have just used it right at the beginning, and now they're going to take this fight, and the blood will spill. It's a slaughter. Can they even keep Carry alive? They do. They get out. They've got the wave in a good position as well because of that Faker push. Now Guma's going to take mid. They can expect to get 2 inhibitors off of this. Carrier might even stick around just to get those extra buffs in. But game-saving steal from aiming and Wukong. They should not just hover him as if it's just his credit. All he did was throw his ultimate. Wukong came in. They timed the smite. They went for about 13. No, that would have been 1,500 total damage, more or less. I don't know if they were able to combine it with something else. Potentially with a Lulu. That's a common play. You put the shield on Wukong as he's diving in to get that combo. Will be nice to see it in slow motion. But right off the bat, middle turret is gone. Of course, when you're sieging these turrets, they're always going to start with the middle inhibitor. This splits the map into 2 halves. All right, with supers constantly pressing mid, you don't need to worry about a retaliation push in the mid lane, and especially you have all your turrets up. So you can go side to side, play for a 1-4 composition from here. You may even see K'Sante or Gnar pushing the middle in a like 3-1-1 split. Here it is. All right, Lulu is not doing it. It's just a combined dash in Q bop from Wukong timed with a smite and with an Aphelios ult, all landing at the same time. But the price that they pay, imagine if they had gotten this kill on Dekaria, oof, that could have been problems. Get that off our screen. This is supposed to be an ad-free zone. But anyways, let's see how they go about it. I don't like that Elise is in her own jungle. She must be thinking that she's close to Zhonya's, but Zhonya's is not a big spike for her. She's already got Fiendish Codex and the stopwatch, so getting the Zhonya's itself is not actually going to increase her power right now at all. So taking these camps, I wonder what it's about. You really do want to use... I suppose what they're saying is let's run the Baron timer out. We don't need to force anything while Baron exists. And then 3 minutes from now, with the Baron gone, then we can continue this push. So if that's the case, power to them. They do want to get 16 onto Faker. They're getting close for the rest of the champions. Lucian and Elise are getting close to 16, but they're still a bit off. But check this out. All right, so we got K'Sante in the mid. Gnar with 3 people in the jungle. And Gnar just kind of tempting the boundaries there. We'll say that Zeus does it better than anyone in the world. We've already said that he tiptoes better than anyone. But, taking some risks there. They may decide that they don't actually need to accomplish anything else right now, but they should. It's not that they could or couldn't. Like, you can get something done. But they may decide, hey, the super in mid lane is enough. We're just going to secure all the vision around our base. Nami is going around behind the turret with her sweeping lens, making sure that no one snuck a teleport ward down there for the Renekton. So they're going to take their time and really take control of this area. Watch how they're moving. Check out the minimap. I think more exciting on the minimap than on the screen, right? See where they're moving and how they're moving. Where are the wards? This is the way to set up for this dragon to try to guarantee it. Now, 11k gold lead. They're pulling 3 or 3.5 items on their carries, and we just don't have that yet from KT Rolster. They're going on 2.5 items at most, but Veigar very close to Rabadon's, and once he gets that Rabadon's, he's going to spike his AP tremendously. This is when he starts getting up into that 800, 900 range. Could be approaching 1,000. It's a little bit early for that right now. But they do, these guys are great at farming. He's using every Q stack he can. And this team will even make sure to give him the cannon, too, if it comes to it. Get those extra stacks. Every bit counts. Especially when you got that Rabadon's for the multiplier. So here we go. They posture in. They're using Battle Song, but have they dug too deep? They've got themselves in position. Lucian just gets to be far too aggressive here. And we get ultimates down from Aphelios and Renekton. The Blast Cones are out. Zeus is going to try to take this. But no, even when he Mega's out. But this is enough. They've won the fight. 2 champions at a third health. But it's the 2 that have teleport. Now, there's 4 stacks of Dragon Slayer, nerfing the damage for T1 here. So it will take them a little bit longer. So expect Faker to actually hold his ground here a bit and say, you know what, I'm going to body for my team. And it works. It keeps the team away. They decide not to use any teleports. They say we will have a better chance if T1 makes a mistake while they're pushing these lanes as opposed to fighting for the Elder. What I don't like about this is that this dragon buff, not only is it going to allow them to get this bottom turret right now, it's also going to last long enough for them to re-break the middle inhibitor. And really, T1 can take whatever they want. They may try to move to top lane as well, because there's a big wave there already, but they may decide to stay as well, because look at that damage. First strike from Lucian, just up front, 1 dash hit, and Gale Force, and the chunks are real. Now, here we go. The inhibitor is back up. There's no super coming in from mid. Nami ultimate to zone them out. They decide not to go for this. Owner was stuck in the cage, but there was no continuation. Look at this. They're going to take this inhib. Let's see them push straight to top lane now. They don't leave behind any vision. They may have used it all to prepare for the dragon. But let's see. Are they going? All right, they're going for Baron. Baron's totally fine. Those 2 inhibitors will have plenty of time on their respawn. They do lose the top wave that they had immediately, and it does mean that their Elder buff will wear out unless they go straight top. Now, it is the Chem Tech map, so it's not like they're getting the Ocean one that's bringing them back to full health, but they also don't mind being low health. Also, tenacity on this team versus Veigar, versus Renekton, even the root from Aphelios, right? All of these things can matter for being able to stay alive in these fights. Now check this out. Fighters in the mid wave, carries in the top. They're going to start coming over and pinching down like scissors, chopping down, cutting through this top wave, and they're going to look for the end, and all the writing is on the wall. They spread out just a bit. Look at this nice battle line. Get nice and wide. Make sure that AoEs are not hitting you. Nard does get hit by the cage, but there's no continuation, because if they step up, they are going to get hit by Lucian in all of his glory. And there he is. The culling off to the side. Culls off the members of KT. They go for the all-in. Cassante holding them in place. And they wipe the team. Lucian getting his triple kill. And clean it up. And that is game. So game 1 in the books. Well played by T1.